Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this session. I want to welcome any volunteer, but let me ask Bishop Senior School Mukono whether we can have any volunteer student to lead us in a word of prayer. Bishop Senior School Mukono, can we have just one volunteer from the students' body to lead us in a word of prayer? Okay, Bishop is unmuting. Just one volunteer, but I'm also seeing St. Mark's College Namagoma. We can have a volunteer student to lead us in a word of prayer from any of those two schools. Any volunteer student to lead us in a word of prayer from any of those schools? Yes, Namagoma, St. Mark's College, you can go on.
Let's pray. Dear God, the God in front of you, welcome us. So, come here because we need you. We need to guide us through this facilitation. Do with us, let's understand everything we learned today. And let it be a successful facilitation. Thank you. May we pray. Amen.
Okay, thank you so much, St. Mark's College Namagoma, for the word of prayer. Yes, we want in a special way to welcome everyone that has joined this call. Thank you so much for joining. In this session, our concentration is going to be on ICT. It is a mandatory that every child does ICT, more so when you reach A level, and it is one of the crucial skills that one needs in this 21st century. For any workplace that our children are going to go to, they will need the skills of ICT, meaning that they must be well conversant with on the practical bit of it. That's why in our session today, our major concentration is going to be on the practical paper. So we chose it wisely that children need those practical skills. And if we share as schools, it means that we can be able to achieve the targets that our government, but as well, our children, the key skills they will need in this century. So that's why we shall have practical. But in case you have any questions on any concept that the facilitator is going to be hitting on, please, you can have those questions through the chat, or you can wait after the presentation, and then those questions will be answered at the end of the session. Earlier on today, we shared with you the question papers that are going to be used during this session, but in case you have not yet received them, kindly send me a WhatsApp message such that I can be able to share with you. But join me now to welcome our facilitator, Teacher Simon Chiviri, who's going to be leading us through this session. Teacher Simon, you are most welcome and kindly take over.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kaziwa. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are very audible and clear.
Good. I'm glad to be part of this team. I'm also humbled to be the facilitator tonight. My name is Kanike Simon Peter Chiviri. I am a teacher of ICT for some years now. Maybe as I talk, I think I should start sharing my screen such that we can start. Meanwhile, I want to welcome all the schools, all the colleague teachers, all the students who have joined the call this afternoon. Allow me share my screen here with the presentation. Meanwhile, I want to think that all the students on the call were able to question paper and a few files that were sent. Because we shared those papers, we shared the papers with the purpose that before we start talking about these things, people are aware, maybe some could be having some questions before we actually start. Is my screen visible there?
It is
Hello?
loading. It is loading, Mr. Chivi,
Okay.
this side.
Okay. Meanwhile, as the screen loads, I want to ask dear students on the call, through the question paper, maybe there could be something that doesn't target your expectation. Kindly drop what you would expect in your chat before we actually go through the whole presentation. Not sure why it is taking longer to load and share. Takaziba?
Yes,
Hello?
Mr. TV. Hello?
Yes, sir.
This site, yeah, this site is saying it is loading.
It,
Okay. Maybe is it possible for it first, like, stop it from sharing and then you share again and we see? Yes, the screen is still blank. It is showing that he has started sharing, but I'm requesting him to first stop it from sharing and then he shares again. And then we see whether it is going to be solved. Okay. 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 Sorry about that. Let's give him some time. Yes. I think it was network issues, but he's back. He's back. Yes. But I'm going to request those schools that have not yet received their questions. I'm trying to see how I can share, but let me ask you to just send me WhatsApp now. Yes, those who can send me WhatsApp, let me drop my number in the chat such that you can send me and I send them, but I'm trying to see how I can share them here as well. Mr. Chivili? Oh, I saw him. Sorry about that. It is network, but he's on. Mr. Chivili, are you trying to share again? But the schools that received, feel free. Okay, it is there now. Although it is showing the WhatsApp. It is showing the WhatsApp. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, perfect. Perfect. We can continue. Mr. Chivili, unmute.
Oh. All right. So all I said was not hard.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, I said my name is Kanike Simon Peter Chivili. I think people saw the screen there. We talk about the setting of the paper. Our paper has two papers. Paper one, which is a theory, and it is marked out of 100, purely structured, which we commonly call fill-in. Then paper two or paper three is a practical exam, which is marked out of 60. And today we are going to talk about paper two, basically. Paper two or paper three. The two papers are almost the same. This paper that we are talking about today carries a maximum of 1 point and a minimum of 0. So members, I want to ask you not to relax, because commonly what students do, they relax on this. They study more biology, they study more math, they study more physics. The sample space here is small. You either get the point or you don't get the point. The standard format of UNEB is set like this. The paper goes for strictly 2 hours. And the 2 hours given to us are hours including burning your CD, the time including printing your work. The instructions of the paper tell us that there are 5 questions, because we are supposed to study 5 applications, which we actually studied. You answer any 3. We are told that any addition is not marked. Of course, in marking, only 3 questions. So don't waste your time doing all the 5 questions. Each candidate has support files given to them, like we shared them earlier, and you're provided with a CD. However, some schools, the students are asked to buy them. You are still provided with it. Then you're also encouraged to save your work continuously. I ask you, dear students, to continuously use the shortcut of Ctrl+S. After every minute, kindly press the Ctrl+S. After every 2 minutes, you have made some changes, please save those changes. And in the end of the exam, you're supposed to hand in both hard copy and the soft copy for purposes of marking you, because you'll find that each question has a mark for printing. And also, just in case your CD breaks along the way, the hard copy is your backup. Other than you having 0 completely, the examiners will always mark your hard copy. Now, we are talking about sub-ICT S852 and 3. What is the difference? There is no difference. The only difference is in the codes of 2 and 3. Some candidates, but all questions are set from the 5 applications. Only that they are asked for different skills. We may ask you for a shape in paper 2, and we don't ask you for a shape in paper 3. None of the applications is compulsory. You have choice of choosing any 3 from the 5 applications that are set based on what you feel is comfortable for you. You are expected to present both soft copy and on CD and hard copy. We have already said it. Then clearly indicate your full name, random number, that is for your name. I know for mocks we don't have random numbers, and a personal number on both copies. When I say both copies, soft copy and hard copy. If, for example, in Microsoft Word, we ask you for a footer of your name, because normally that one is for identifying your work. And you have actually failed to put a foot of your name. Please type your name at the top of your work or at the bottom of your work. Type your name there, include your personal number and random number. We are going for mocks now. Please still indicate your names and personal numbers. Then these are the applications that you are supposed to learn. There are 5. Word processing, we commonly call it Microsoft Word. I know there are other versions, other applications that can do the same thing. We have electronic spreadsheets, that's Excel. Presentation, that's Microsoft PowerPoint. Publication, that is Microsoft Publisher. And electronic database management, which is Microsoft Access. I want to ask you members, practice as much as you can. Prepare yourself very well. And after preparing yourself, please perform what you're supposed to perform. Because in performing, that is where you will get the 1 point. Those who don't perform will not get that point. We give general guidance, practice, and avoid, we call it cyberphobia. Cyberphobia is the fear of touching and being on a computer. Number 2, use a computer that you're familiar with. Don't sit on a laptop. Some of us have computer labs where we have both desktop and laptops. Some of the students fear or are challenged with using the touchpad of the laptop. Kindly, dear candidate, if you have not been using a laptop, please ignore the laptop for the final exam. You are free to tell the teacher or that invigilator that, please, I am not comfortable here. Because once you sit in an environment or on a machine where you're not comfortable, you're contributing to your own failure in the exam. Read the instructions before attempting any question paper. Some of us, the students, we are called a bit wiseacres. You say, no, I have done these questions always and always. I don't need to read the instructions. The day the instructions come and they are telling you to attempt only 2, you waste your time doing all the 3. All the instructions are asking you to do 4 questions or attempt all questions. Then for you, you're supposed to do any 3. Things may change in the night. Read the instructions. Then also take some minutes before you even touch the keyboard and mouse to create a folder. Take some minutes of yourself. In taking the minutes for yourself, what are you doing? Read through the whole question paper. Some of you have a tendency that, for me, I do Word, Excel, PowerPoint. I don't look at database. I don't look at publisher. Some of us are in schools and we have so far studied only 3 applications, which is okay. If there are 3 applications you have studied, please master those applications. Read through the question paper. Acquaint yourself with what can you do better. Each question carries 20 marks. If you realize that I can get 18 on this question, I can get 16 here, I can get 19 here, I can get 15 here. And moreover, your most preferred application is Microsoft Word. But you realize that you can get 15 marks in Microsoft Word. Yet in presentation, you realize you can get your 18 marks. Why don't you start with the presentation, which will give you 18 marks, and end with Word, which can give you 15 marks? Can it take some 5 minutes, even if it is more than 5, because after all, you have 30 minutes on average for every question. You have 2 hours, you're doing 3 questions. And your exam was simplified that most of the questions you even have support files. Kindly take time, read through the question paper. And take note of those technical terms of the application names. You realize that, for example, in all the question papers that are set, there is nowhere you are told that you use Microsoft Word. Nowhere you are told that use Microsoft Excel, use Microsoft Access. You are told to use a word processing software of your choice. That means if you don't know what a word processor is, you don't know which application is a word processor that you have been using, you're going to end up opening a spreadsheet instead of a word processor. You're going to end up opening PowerPoint instead of opening Microsoft Word. So kindly read the instructions that you're supposed to have for the exam and follow the technical language. Then also ensure that you load the correct support files from the folder. If you can't locate that folder, seek help from your teacher or lab technician. If you open the support files and they are not loading, they are not opening, please ask for help. Don't use a wrong support file. Some of you fear to ask questions in class. Even during the examination time, some of you may fear to tell the teacher that this one is not happening very well. It is your right, dear candidate, to raise your hand, to tell that teacher, to tell that examiner, to tell that invigilator that there is a problem on this computer, my files are not loading. Because if you keep quiet, you're contributing to your own failure. Then continuously save your work. And please don't save shortcuts. Just in case you don't know how a shortcut looks like, feel free to ask. Because once you save a shortcut and put it on a CD, that file will not open in the destination. It will only open on that very computer of yours. Remember, you're sending the CD to an examiner in your name, which examiner is going to take on your work. Once it is there, it will not open. And worst of all, you might not have printed a hard copy. If you don't print a hard copy, you have had the shortcut on your work. You did your, maybe you even scored 8. You would have scored 18, 18, 18. That is 56 out of 60. You'll end up having a 0. Then also ensure that before you print, your work fits on the paper and it is not overflowing. Your work should be clear. Your work should be well. Your work should be good. Look a professional. Look a professional. However much you are a student, because we are teaching and training you to be professionals. After senior 6, we expect you to come to the field. We give you some work, we give you jobs. We only tell you what we want, and you can use the skills that we have given you at high school to do for yourself and earn a living. Then also understand the requirements of the questions. You only impress the examiner by showing the skills that the examiner asked for. Remember, each question asked targets a particular skill. Don't show the examiner that you know what is not asked for, because you're going to miss out the other mark that was asked for. If the examiner asked you to underline, we all know what underlining means. Then for you, you simply draw a line from the shapes. That is not what we want. We have not asked you for a page color, but because for you, the teacher showed you and told you how to put page colors, to change the font colors, to put page borders, all those things are not asked for. Some of you are good artists. You want to beautify the work, and you leave out the skills that the teachers, the examiner wants. Now, why do the students fail this paper? They fail to load and work with the correct support files. Like we shared them, some people may not get them in time, or they may fail to load them. Also, the fear of touching and working on computers. There are some of you who even up to now fear touching the mouse, and you think that that red light may burn you. Some of you may think that by pressing the buttons of the keyboard, you may spoil the teacher's computer. Please know. Then also, some people, some candidates are slow in typing and they don't complete the expected content. The text given to you has 3 paragraphs. Where there are 3 paragraphs, you type 2. If the examiner has to award you marks, the examiner will give you half a mark. If that one was given 2 or 3 marks, you'll get 1, if not 2. And in most cases, you'll find that some questions may require you to do something at the end of what you have typed. Now see that you are slow, you have not typed that last paragraph, and it is what the question is asking you to work on. So dear candidates, we still have time. It's not yet late. Practice and practice and practice, then after practicing, perform. Then some of you use wrong applications to do tasks that are required for particular applications. An example I gave earlier is that sometimes we may tell you that load an appropriate word processor to do ABCD. Then you find a candidate doing what is in word processor in presentation. Some of you misinterpret the support files. There is a year when there was a support file of Microsoft Word where candidates were supposed to copy content from Microsoft Word and put it in presentation. But some candidates ended up continuing all that they were supposed to do, doing it in Microsoft Word, and no presentation was given. So kindly use the correct applications. Then also some of you fail to interpret the questions. There are questions of colors, the highlight, fill, those things there. Be technical enough and interpret the questions very well. This one I think I have already talked about. I think I have already talked about this, that some of you work to beautify the work and you leave out the required skills. Please read the question, attempt it, go to the next question. If you feel like you wanted to change the font color and the examiner has not asked for it, leave it, go create a new document for your personal consumption, put your font colors there, but leave the examiner's work the way it is. Okay, then some of you, again, you don't know how to ban CDs. Instead of banning the work, you ban shortcuts. So let's learn, let's practice to ban our work. For now, I think I want to end there and ask if there are any questions before we get into the actual work that we need. We shared that paper. We want to see, is there any question? And before we get into it, I am sure that we cannot complete all the 5 questions that we said. I want to ask you through the chat, may you let me know which of those 5 applications should we go with? Because we're left with about 1 hour and a half. This time may give us a chance of going through at least 2 questions. May I now get back to the chat or someone raise the hand and let us know which application should we go with, or just in case there is any question as of now, I was giving the general guidance that we can go through. Then from here, I want us to go straight to the work that we are supposed to be doing. Anything?
Okay. Yes, teacher, I'm seeing in the chat, someone is saying database, Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. Another one is saying, let's start with PowerPoint. Okay. Access and Publisher, let's start with PowerPoint. I suggest okay. I suggest number 4, Microsoft Excel, Database, Access and Publisher. So those are some of the suggestions: Access, database, 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 Access, and Excel.
Okay. Okay. I think in my conclusion, we may have to go with the database, then presentation, and finally Excel, I think, if time allows.
I think that is very fine. Database.
Yes. So, dear members, I want to welcome you. We have this question here. I want to think that we can see my question paper.
Yes, your question paper is on.
Okay. Database is question number 3. I want to think that the candidates, wherever you are, you have this question with you. Those who don't have it yet.
Okay, Teacher Chiviri, a quick one.
Yes.
Before we enter, someone saying, if at all the time runs out when electricity is done, when work is not yet burnt, am I given extra time to accomplish the task?
Yes. The invigilator, because this exam is technical, the invigilator is entitled to count the minutes from the time when power has gone until the time when you get back power. Count those minutes. They should be added on to your time for ending the exam. If you take 20 minutes connecting the generator, so those 20 minutes should be given to you ahead. If you're supposed to end at 11, your paper should end at 11:20. I think we have responded to that one.
Yes, you have done so.
Okay, members, let's look through this question. We said that the table below gives information on some staff members of a sports academy called School Sports Academy. You are given a table. Just like I told you, before you start attempting the question, please read through the entire question. We look at this table here. First, identify how many fields do I have in the table? How many records do I have? I want to think that members, we can identify what a field is and what a column is. From the table here, without explaining, each of these columns represents a field. So in our table here, we have, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 fields. And the records, the first row here is for labels or field names or field titles. So the rest here, each of these row is a record. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records with us. You're required to design a suitable electronic database. You're required to create a suitable database, electronic database, to manage the above information. Save the database as your name and personal number. Design the above table and save it as employee table with appropriate data types and the primary key. These are also some important parts. Create a form called employee entry form and use it to enter the above records. It should have a title and a logo. Use Academy PNG.png from the support files as the logo. Create a new field in the form that calculates employees' age. Create a query to filter out only employees from the Department of Management and their surname begins with letter B. create another query displaying all the fields of employees with a salary less than 300. I remember I had designed this, but I think for purposes of going together, allow me to create a new database here. So we shall have Microsoft Access. Now, unlike the other applications, when we select to create a blank database, Microsoft Access will always ask us to first save. So we shall use this folder here to look for where should we save our database. I want to save it on the desktop of my computer. We normally talk about desktop because it is the most easily accessible place. We are told to create it, to save it with our name. I'll use my name. Maybe that's my personal number. I'm saving it like that on the desktop. So we shall select create. Now by default, it comes and gives us a table. So we are supposed to create this table. We should come and first go into the design view. Which name were we given? We're supposed to save our table as employee table. Come in the table name and you put employee table and we shall okay. So in the design view of our database here, we have now 3 columns. One is field name, data type, and the description. So based on the fields that we have, we have and we shall have to create the field names there. Let's follow the question papers that we have there. The first field name here is first name, followed by surname, followed by sex, followed by title. Then we shall have ID number. Then we shall have department, salary, and this is Ugandan shillings, UGX. Then from here, we shall have date of birth. Now, after setting the field names, we need to set what we call data types. We are told to put appropriate data types with the appropriate primary key. What is a primary key? A primary key is that field. It should be that field that will uniquely identify the other fields. It will uniquely identify the entire record from the other records. So it should be a field that has digits that should always differ by at least 1 character. In most cases, in these fields that we have, normally it is ID number. We can have an email address if it is there. We can have a telephone contact. Those are the most common ones because the others can always repeat. Its role is to reduce or to avoid duplication of data. So here, agree with me that this one, the first name will be data type short text. Same thing with surname. Sex can be short text or can be lookup wizard. But before you set lookup wizard, it should be in short text first. Let's use lookup wizard. Lookup wizard will give us this dialog box, and here we shall come and say that I will type the values that I want. Then next, and here it is one column. I will put F here, and then we shall put M. After that, we shall next, and it is the field of sex. We finish. We shall not see the figures here, but we shall see them later. The title should be short text. ID number, according to what we have here, can either be short text or auto number. Let me call it auto number, and we see how can we set it to look like SC001. I am not displaying the question paper on the screen with an assumption that members have it with you that side. ID number, let's call it auto number, not large number. The data type should be auto number. Now, after setting it as auto number, we want it to come as SC001002 because according to the paper there, the numbers are repeating. So the simple trick that we should have after setting it as auto number, come down here in the field properties where we have format. As we are formatting, look at the characters. Which characters look to be constant? The constant characters according to our table here is SC. 001002 look to be changing because if the company gets 100 employees or 150, it will be SC 150. So those 3 zeros should be changing. We are going to fix the SC and leave the other ones repeating. How do we fix? We shall open quotes in the format, then put SC, close the SC in quotes. Those inverted, the double quotes. Don't press one hyphen to make 2 quotes. Please press the quotation marks by pressing shift, then that button. And followed by the number of place values. Now here, according to this ID, it has 3 place values. We shall either put 3 hashtags or 3 zeros. Either of the 2 will work. So the department also is short text. Salary, we can call it number or currency. I am calling it number because for this one, the currency symbol was put here. If we set it as currency, it will put for us a $sign. But however, we can still change. But given that the table, the figures are not given any currency symbol and it is at the top, we can leave it at number. Then here, the date, this is date, stroke, time. And I think we also need to look at the format of the date. The date that is given to us, let's look at it. We have it here. I think it is here. This is the format that we are given. So we shall set it like that. And after that, we need to change and give. Remember, we said that this one should be our primary key. Let's change and give it to be the primary key by clicking here, table design, then the primary key will be there. After that, we save. Oh. Now, the question I think we are supposed to, let's keep the ID up there, or let's keep it as short text because the database is refusing to give it as auto number. Let's save. We keep it as short text. Good enough, we have seen how to set it as auto number. The error said that we cannot change from one auto number to another number in another field. Now, our question here told us to enter the data using a form. And also maybe to give you a trick, here you already have your marks of creating the table. Okay? Now, we are told to use a form to enter the data. So we close the table. I want also to advise that the object that you work on, please close it from here such that you have a free working environment here. So we now come to create a form. I want to create a form from design. We shall create it from design. We want to bring this table here. In the form design tab, we shall have something that says add existing fields. Then we shall say show all tables. Our employee table is given here. Click the plus on the left, and we shall have all our field names that we put. So let's say first name, you double click and the field will come to the left. Surname, sex, title, ID number, department, salary, date of birth. So all those fields, you simply double click here and they will automatically come on the left. What does the question tell us? Design the above table, save it as employee table with appropriate data types and the primary key we have done. Create a form called employee entry form and use it to enter the above records. It should have a title and a logo. Use academy.png from the support files. So before we actually go to the form view, let's come here and insert a title. The title is here. So we shall click title and it will come here. We call it School Sports Academy. You can put a title of your choice. We are told to put a logo, and this logo we are told that it is supposed to be Academy. This is my folder. The logo is here, Academy. Simply click it and okay. So it will come here. And what else? That's all they asked us. So from here, our form is done. We shall come here and say form view. Now from here, we are supposed to enter the data. The first student, the first candidate, the first employee here is Jane Birungi, is a female. Remember here we put lookup wizard, is an admin. The ID number is S6 001 from the management department. The amount of money is 730. And the date of birth is 18th June 1937. Now in database down here, we have an arrow with a yellow star, which says new or blank record. When I click it, it gives me another space. For Harriet Kabaganyizi, who is also a female, is in a title of a worker. The ID number is SC002 in the Department of Kitchen. The salary was 630. The date of birth is 5th of August 1978. Come and click new. The first name is Daniel Biaruhanga. This one is a male and a worker. SC003 from the Department of Field. The salary was 700. And the 5th June 1972. We add another one. You can see that as we add, the number of records also show themselves down there. Then we have another one called Beatrice Atugonza, who is a female, is a secretary. The ID is S.6 from the Department of Research, and the salary was 385. And this was born on 19th June 1988. Then the last one was Fred Maniragawa, who is a male director. And there was the SC005 from the Department of Management, and the ANS 1.2, who was born on 18th of August 1967. So our form is done. We save. The form is called Employee Entry Form. And we shall click OK. Now our form is done. We have entered data through the form. When we check the table, our table is already populated. You can either enter this data from the form or the table. But according to the instructions of the question, we are supposed to enter our data in a table, through a form. I said you close what you have finished working on, then create a new field in the form that calculates the employee's age. Let's open this form again in design view, because it is in the design view that we shall put a new field. So we are told to put a new field that will calculate the age. We shall use what we call, here we have what we call controls. From the form design tab, we have controls, and we would love to pick this called the text box. Click once, you come with this plus and put it somewhere. Now we shall just move it a little such that we align it properly. These resizing dots are there. You align it properly with the others to have your work look good. However much you are not rushing. So here in the text box this way, you highlight and simply remove them and say age. Maybe we can say employee age. Now it is in this that we shall have to put the formula that will calculate the age. As we put the formula in a form, if you ask to calculate in a form, we shall always begin with the equal signs. And we shall put the following formula. We shall say, we shall use a function called year, and we open a bracket. You put a function called now, which calls for the current date, and close it again. This function here is calling for the date on your computer at the bottom here, okay? Then we are saying that this one, this date of our computer, minus the date of birth, minus year, open a bracket, but the other one being a field name, we shall put in this bracket. The way we have it here, sorry, the way we have this one here, if you misspelled the date of birth, please still misspell this word here. Date of birth, close the field name here, and close the bracket. Simply that. That is the formula that we shall use. After that, Let's just come back here in the form view. We shall see that this first one has 87 years. If you calculate from 1937 to 2024, according to my computer, I suppose that's the age. The next also has that number of years, including the next and the last one. Save the changes, close the object. We look for another question, a query to filter out only employees from the Department of Management and their surname begins with letter B. This query is calling for two kinds of criteria. So we shall come query design. I think this one we all know. Simply add that table. You click once, we highlight all of them, Control-Shift-A, drag all of them, drop them there. They will come automatically. Alternatively, one may simply double click each of them, and as you double click, they relay themselves at the bottom. So we are told that they should be coming from the Department of Management. So look for a field called Department. Down here, we say that we want Management. But there was another criteria. And their surname begins with letter B. So come to surname, whatever we say is beginning with, that letter comes first, followed by an asterisk, which we commonly call a star. After that, before you actually save, in the query design, always look for the run command. We run. So we have one candidate, I think. This was Birungi from management. Let's just make a simple survey here from our table. Do we have anyone beginning with B? Yes, we have Birungi and Yaruhanga. There was another question from the Department of Management. Birungi comes from management, Yaruhanga comes from Department of Field. So our query disqualified Yaruhanga from here. That is why he's not appearing, because he's not coming from management, however much he meets the first criteria. So when we find that it is correct, we shall simply save our query. We are told to save it as Management Department. And we okay. So we also close that object. Create another query to display all the fields of employees with salary less than 300,000. Name it 300,000, less than 300,000. We shall still come to query design, add the table. Let's put all the fields as requested. Put them there. Where we have salary, when it is less, we shall use the less than symbol. Less than 300,000 in the criteria, then we run. We have one person there who has 63,000. That is in case I typed his or her data correctly. But I remember this query was supposed to be empty. But based on what we have entered there, that is what the computer is returning for us. So we say less than 300. 300. Now, in my questions here, this was supposed to be 630,000, but this is 63,000. I call upon you now to remind you of accuracy. Remember, in computing, we have garbage in, garbage out. If I was a secretary entering data for this employee, it's going to come at the end of the month and is given 63,000 sheets instead of 630, and you will get issues in office. We need to be keen in entering data. The academy's retirement age is 55 years. create a query to filter out the employees whose ages are above 55 years, and we call it 55 retirement age. So we shall come for another query. We are told to put it there. And we shall put all the fields here. All the fields here. Now you find that we don't have any field that calculates the age. So in case you find yourself that you don't have any field calculating the age, please come at the end here, add a new field. The new field we are adding in the query is called age. Because we are going to calculate from this field, we shall add the full colon. Remember, in the form as we are calculating, we first put equal signs. Same thing in the report. When we are working in a query, we put full colon. After that, age, we shall first calculate the number of years. Put a formula that calculates the number of years because we don't have them. So we shall say, yeah, those who can remember, you can follow me. Yeah, now, open and close. And close, we are putting that function. Then minus year, which has this date of birth. Our field here is date of birth. Remember, I told you that please, if you made a spelling error, kindly continue with the spelling error for you to have consistency in your data. And we shall close the field name. Wherever you have to use a field name, we shall use those brackets. And make sure that you check this such that the field will be displayed. Now this one is calculating the number of years. But remember, the query requires us to show only those who are above 55 years. So we shall come now in the criteria here and tell it that please, however much you're giving us their number of years, we want only those who are above 55. And we shall run the query to see. So we have only 2 people out of the 5 that are above 55 years. The rest are below 55. After that, we shall save our query as retirement age. And after that, we shall okay. Then we are done with this query. Please close it. Create a report using employee table and group the records by department and name it report by department. So we shall create a report. I think let's come still to report design. However, we may use a simpler method. If we want to create a report instantly, you may select either the table, simply click on it like I am doing. If you realize that there was a query, this instruction is telling us from the table. But if there was a query that was given to us, you simply click the query, but we are asked the table. We come now and click report. So it will process for us the report. This is our report already done. Only that it is now large and too wide. So what we do, we shall come to the view and select the design view. And from the design view, we shall simply come here in the header and reduce these spaces because some of them are just too long for nothing. Maybe to show you why we are reducing. In the form here, sorry, in the report, you will see this dotted line here. This is a clear indication that one page is ending here and this other content will be pushed to another page. Remember, I told you in the beginning that make your work professional. This space is useless here, including this. We just have to go to the design view to reduce the space here and here and here such that we bring closer these items. come and hold this a little. And we reduce the size of this. You hold another one. The ID number we also reduce. We are doing this for purposes of printing. However, if it was not printing, because we want our work to fit strictly on one page. So from there, our report is done. Let's go back to the report view and see what we have actually done. So our report is now confined, and this space here, we can see that it looks not very good, but better than the way it was previously. And finally, we are told to print our work. So we shall save the report as report. Oh, sorry. We are told to group the report, to group the data. Let me first save report by department. We first open back our table in design view. The other question was telling us to group. Down here, we can see group and sort. If it was not there, just here in the design, in the report design, there is a group and sort. So when you click it, it will come down here. We are told to group the content, the records by department. So you click add group. Group by what? The field names will be given to us here. Group by department. So when we come here to the report view, the people are grouped by department. Someone in the field, department of field is alone. Department of kitchen is alone. Management, we had only 2. Research is only 1. That is the grouping of the data in the report. I want to thank you. I'm sorry, I might have been a bit speedy because we want to catch on a number of items. Could there be any queries? Mr. Kaziba, please. May you let me know just in case there are some queries? Hello? The lesson was okay, please continue. Okay, question being handled. Grouping of work, people born on a specific year. Okay, the questions are not very clear in the chat. May you be a little specific? Why not use report wizard after all the numbers are attempted? Okay. Okay, I think I wanted to leave this one. I beg pardon for part C, Roman 4. Some more light on calculating the year. Let's ask questions. Okay, members, I think as someone guided, let me just respond on a few things here. Allow me use this PowerPoint thing. Let me use this PowerPoint to The questions that are audio, I think we shall get them after the entire presentation. Let me put a few formulae here. One, for calculating the age. For calculating the age, we said if it is in a query, we just put the full colon. If it is in a report, after adding a new field, put equal signs. And we shall use this function here. Open a bracket, put a function called now. This is a blank now, which returns the current date based on your computer. Minus year. Then we shall put this. We shall put this field name to reflect date of birth. Date of birth as a field name. Some computers will have DOB. If it is written DOB, please input DOB. Then the other functions, the other formulas, based on the scenarios that could be given. You make the calculations accordingly. This will work if in the table you set the data type here as date stroke time. If you do not set the data type as date stroke time, you may not go through. It will give you an error. From there, I want to explain more on the formula creating calculated form, on how to insert the logo in the report, exchange of currency, and adding color to reports. Help me with the questions. Thanks, Sonia. I have got it. I'm going through some questions in the chat that we can respond to because I want to go to hold to attempt another question there. Logo in the report, formula creating a calculated form. For creating forms, I think I have just said it. Just in case for this report, for this form, let me just go to the form here very fast and we go to spreadsheet. In case you need to add something, a field, you need to add a field here. Which field should return some data? We shall come in the design view of the report, of the form, same thing with the report. Come in the form design tab, because as you're in design view, they'll give you this tab. What you do, as you're there, come to these controls here and look for a text box. Click it, come and put it where you feel you need it to be. Resize it accordingly. This left one, remove whatever is there, put a field name. This one, you don't need to do anything apart from putting the formula. The formula should be put in the second field here. And the formula, we have talked about it. Sometimes they may ask you to calculate the balances. So you put the balances there. Other times, if it was a table that has a calculated field, the formula would be put there and you actually respond to it from there. Now, there are cases when you ask to put a footer or some other information there, we shall come and pick what we call a label. This one didn't ask for a footer. When you pick a label, you click once there, come with a plus and put it there. Then from here, simply put, if you are to put a footer, 523, maybe with a random number, which remember said 754/5/. That was my random number when I sat, and that is my personal number. This is what we would put. And I would also encourage that for the footer of your name, even when asked for or not, I think it would be wise if we put it for personal identity. Someone asked of the colors. and changing the other styles. Another one asked of the logo. How do we put the logo? The logo is just somewhere here. You simply click this and they'll give you a dialog box, which looks for where you're supposed to locate the support files, which are, according to me, they are on the desktop. My folder is this one. You should know your folder for support files. Then look for, this question was very specific on the logo. If your question is not specific, you ask for any, you can select any. But this one was very specific. Now, issues of the colors, font, and what? Here we have something called property sheet, still in the design view. Property sheet here, when you click it, it has a number of items. You can customize this, you can customize this, you can customize this. This one will go with practice. This form, this happens both in the form and the report. So what we are talking about, the property sheet, members, follow it applies to both the form and the report. You only have to call for the property sheet. There is a header section, there is a detail section, and a footer section. You can as well select an object like this and customize that object. Whatever you select, the fields change here. Now, if I want to change the color of the footer background, you simply click there and come here, format. There is something called back color here. Simply click here and look for a color. I may wish to use that color. I want to change the color of this background. When I click here, they select that it is detail. Back color is here. Come here, select a color of your choice. I want to change the color of the footer background. Click the footer section. Here, back color. Select the dots. Look for a color of your choice. If you want to change the font of these fields, maybe all of them, maybe one by one, but if you want all of them, select them like this at once. Come here, you can change their background color as well to maybe yellow. The border style, the width, the border color. There are many things here, the font style, the font size, many things that you can change from here. Just give it a try and keep working on them. This will come with practice. Remember, I talked about practice in the beginning. Members, allow me to leave database for now, and we continue to spreadsheet. Someone tell me it's okay, we continue here. Let's go to other questions. Okay. Okay. Let's continue to other questions. And someone suggested that we should go to spreadsheet. We should go to spreadsheet. Spreadsheet, we are given a support file that using a spreadsheet application, we should load. Using a spreadsheet application, we should load a file called payroll. I think so. Yes. By saying load, it means open. So I have opened. I am opening my file from the support files folder and save it in your folder as your name and personal number. I maximize it. Now you're not supposed to work from here. We are told to save this work as your name and personal number. So click file before you make any other change. Click file, select save as. Look for where should you save. On the desktop, look for the desktop, browse, and look for the desktop. Unfortunately, I think I didn't create my folder, but I can create it now. In the desktop, I have my folder. I was 5 to 3. So I save my work here, open this folder, save the work as your name, change the file name. 5 to 3, change the file name and save. When you look at the top here, the file name should have changed to your name. If you still see payroll on the top, it means you're not doing right. So we have loaded and we are asked, insert a title June 2024 payroll. Where are we supposed to have the title? Ideally, I think the title is supposed to be at the top here. So this one requires us to have a skill of inserting a new row. How do we insert a new row? We shall simply click here and either come here, select insert, or right click from here and select insert. For your information, the row that you select, a new row will be applied on top. It is good practice that for us to have a good title, we shall come here, merge and send. And we are told that the title should be June 2024 payroll. June 2024 payroll and enter. Use absolute cell referencing to calculate the allowances as percentages of basic income. What is absolute cell referencing? Absolute cell referencing is when we use the dollar signs to lock the cells. It is where that as you autofill, the formula will keep itself with that cell value, with that cell name, not cell value, but the cell name. For example, to get the percentage here, literally or plainly, according to this, it is a percentage. The food allowance is a percentage, 6% of 32,000. So I would say that it is equal to 6% times this one. But this is not what the question wants us to do. It wants us to say, to use an absolute cell reference, meaning that we should have this percentage here times this figure here. But this percentage is going to go on calculating all these ones. So what we shall do, simply click in that field and press F4 on your keyboard. It will put for you the dollar signs. So the first dollar sign locks the column name and the other one locks the row number, meaning that we have locked cell D4. After that, you enter. And here we shall autofill. So this is what we have. Come to this, we are told it should also be an absolute cell reference. Use this times the basic income. Click here, simply press F4. If you can type the dollar signs yourselves, it's okay. But for us, we are preferring just pressing F4. That one is done. That part is done. Part 3, determine the gross income as a summation of allowances and basic income. Summation, I think we all know that it is addition. You can either use a function of sum, or you can even simply add this plus this plus this. We shall get the answer. After that, simply autofill, and the values will come. Then calculate the deductions as percentages of the gross income. Now, this one is not specific that use absolute cell reference. So you are free to either use absolute or simply use the 18%. You can even turn it into decimal, which is 0.18. The choice is yours. Equals 18% times the gross income. So we shall autofill. We could use a formula here of 0.05 times the gross income. and we shall enter. Then what we do is to autofill. That one we have also done. Determine the total deductions. How would we determine the total deductions? I think the deductions are only two, which is this tax plus the pay as you earn only, and we shall come to the end of it all. Then from there, simply autofill. Do you see how spreadsheet is also easy? Determine the net income of the employees as a difference between the gross pay and the total deductions and the gross income. So the net income, we are told it is a difference between the gross pay, which is the gross income, I think it is this one here, minus the total deduction. That is the difference that we are given. So this is what someone has to earn and take. I want to think that we are all following. So we have done the part, we are done with the part of calculations. Determine the net income we have done. Set all figures to have a UGX currency prefix. So after calculating this, the examiner wants us that all these figures here should have a prefix for UGX. We highlight all of them, come here, we say it should be currency. But the currency, according to my computer, it is already having USH, but the examiner wants us to have UGX. So we shall come back here and select more number formats. So because it is currency, we shall come here and select custom. Now custom, this is what we are having here, if you can be very observant. We shall click here on the first characters, remove the USH, and put the GX as it is required. Any custom format that we may need, you customize it from there. And we may put a space there. I think this was supposed to be a hash. Wow. Spreadsheet is telling me it can't use the number format. That I try using the number format given here. Let's edit this one. Yes, we just had to edit. Someone has the Napak Seed Secondary School. Yes, someone from Napak. Something? Someone from Napak, please.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
I think you have just to pick it from the number format there. Because it is already there, it's a default there, so you can customize it.
Yes.
I think that's why it was disturbing.
Yeah, I went to another one which was already there that I have just customized.
But yeah, you can see it is now working. It would be better
Yes.
if we picked it from the already predetermined formats, because UGX is already there.
Yes, UGX is already there, but this one I wanted to go straight as it is given here in with a small g and x, just to be specific to that. Yes, but UGX was already there.
All right.
Okay, thank you, sir. Someone Kangulu, is it Kangulu Mira?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Please, sir, may you help us repeat how you have placed the UDX, because we are at least confused.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it, sir.
Okay, sir.
Kashenyi. Kashenyi. Hello. Kashenyi, are you there? Okay. I think Kashenyi is not yet there. Let's continue. I'll repeat this. Let's first remove. This one, we said we highlight. And as we highlight, simply come here at the number formats. We selected the currency first, but we found that in my computer, this one was already there as a default, but we come to formatting. Currency, then come down here and select custom. You find that UGX is somewhere there. I think it is a capital UGX. It is already here. But only to be specific, because on that question paper, it was a small g. When I select this UGX here, simply come here where there is type, you remove. However, this may not be a point of penalizing you, but just to be specific, we will simply remove that and click OK. When we have these hashtags, it's an indication that the figure is quite big, it can't fit there. So you just have to expand it. Kashenyi something.
Hello?
Yes, please.
On the percentages, we are given tax as a deductions that we have that percentage there. So you should always use absolute reference, not typing that it is equal to 18% times this. It is a must to use absolute reference.
I think in my communication, I was a bit clear because the question is not specific. And it is not a must that once it is there, it must be absolute. Where the examiner, whoever, as we said the question, where it was required to be absolute, it was specified to be absolute. So a candidate may not be or cannot be penalized for not using an absolute reference when it was not mentioned anywhere. You may only be penalized if...
Another thing,
yes,
I'm seeing zeros, but you have also autofill, then you reach where there is nothing. That's why there is zero below.
At the bottom here?
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to delete them.
Okay.
One that I think in the template that I used, there was some data that I deleted there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think before I shared, I didn't delete that part there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, you're welcome, sir. Thank you too. Okay, Buziga, someone from Buziga here? Someone from Buziga? Let's listen from Solimo. Solimo Moses. Solimo Moses. I think Solimo Moses is not there.
Maybe Mr. Chiviri from the chat.
Yes, sir.
Yes, someone saying, teacher, remind me about how to obtain net income. Another one wants some reminder on the lookup functions. That is from Nadia. Another one, pardon on how to obtain gross income. Then another one, repeat on absolute reference.
Okay. I think let's first repeat the absolute reference. Then absolute reference, let me first delete these zeros because a colleague has mentioned them. Let's first remove them. Absolute referencing, I think I would explain it this way, is one, because remember in autofilling, let me first remove these figures here. In autofilling, if I use that, I'm explaining it this way. We are supposed to have this times this one, such that we get the answer. But as we autofill, if it is plain like that, that one is called relative referencing. If we autofill like that, you're going to find the figures are too big. Why? Because from here, the formula is multiplying this cell, I think it is D4 by C5. When we come to check this one, the formula has autofilled and left the D4 came to D5. It is now multiplying D5 by C6, which is wrong. It is supposed to be C6 by D4. Then let's sample just this one. When we sample this one, it is also multiplying D9. It has come all over from up here. It is going on autofilling itself. D9 by C10. But we want all these ones here, the basic income figures, to be multiplying by this one. So that is why we say that we shall use the absolute cells. To make it absolute, we shall come here and we shall put dollar signs in this one, the D4. The D4, we said you would simply click there and press F4 on your keyboard. It will lock the cell such that as you go on autofilling, all of them will keep multiplying with the other one. Let's autofill again and see. You see a change now. So when we check this one, it is multiplying this by C6. Let's sample this one, it is still multiplying D4 by C6. Because we have made it absolute, by making it absolute, you're making it fixed or you're locking it into one cell. I said that the absolute, a cell has two figures. One is a column name followed by a row name. So the first dollar sign locks the column, another one locks the row number. Then someone talked about the net income. The instructions were given to us there in the question. The net income is supposed to be a difference between the gross pay and the total deductions. So a difference between the gross pay, which is actually gross income, which is this one, minus the total deductions, which is this one. Just putting a simple formula. We don't use cell values, but we use cell names. By saying cell values, you realize I did not put 36,160 minus 8,316. No, I put F5 because at any time, this akugiziwe here, the employer may increase his pay. If the employer increased his pay to 40,000, for example, you realize that once our formulas are already there, all these other figures should be able to change accordingly. That is why we don't put cell values, but rather we put cell names. Someone asked, allow me that we first complete this question here. I remember someone asked about VLOOKUP. Let's first complete the questions in this. I want to think that they are almost done. Change the font color of the titles. This one I think is also very easy. Just to hold it here. The titles are here. Font color is here to any color. The examiner was not very specific. Set all borders around your work. Highlight this. As we highlight this, all borders is here. You simply click it and it will work out such that we have these borders printed with us. Setting the page layout to landscape. I think we know page layout is here. Come to orientation. And we shall select landscape. Then rename the worksheet to payroll and fill the tab with a green color. Renaming worksheet, you either double click and say payroll, or you would right click and tab color. Sorry, you would right click and rename. After renaming, come to tab color. We are told to give it green. So it is filled with a green color. Then print your work on one page. Now, according to this, when you look at my work here, it has this dotted line here. This is a clear indication that my work will not fit on one page. So what do you have to do? Go on reducing the size of these cells such that the work fits on one page. When you look at my work here, there are some decimal places that put themselves here, which were not called for. I could also come home, reduce to 0 decimal place because no question asks for it. Continue reducing. Until that dotted line skips and it is already here now. This is an indication that all my work is fit to be on one single page. Printing, all the work we shall just Control P. You should know the type of printer installed on your computer at school so that you can select it and then you can always print. I want to thank you for listening. As of now, I think let's entertain the questions you can answer. Maybe before someone has a hand here. I want to go through the lookup wizard. Sorry, can't recall. Someone asked the VLOOKUP. Kangurumira.
May you please take us through inserting a head and a footer?
Inserting a head and a footer, okay.
Yes.
It is either way. You would come down on these views, select print layout, or come to insert, click a tab insert, header and footer is here. The header appears here and the footer, after you type in the header, maybe it is supposed to be 523. Come, click in the middle here, come to the footer, add a footer. Maybe you ask to put page numbers, anything that you ask to put there, or personal number 523, and it is done. After that, you will simply come in these layouts here, you click the normal layout. The header and the footer will hide themselves in this layout, but when you come to print, for example, if I Control P for a preview, my header is there and my footer is also there. Okay. Napak Seed.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. So I have something I would like to make you verify for these learners, make some verification for them when it comes to VAT.
Yes.
Many times students take VAT as a deduction, but VAT is supposed to be added on any given value for you to get maybe a net cost. So you need to put more emphasis on that because VAT is a tax, it is true, but it increases on the price of something.
I think normally, based on the questions here, VAT is a tax actually, but
yes,
it is
but
a tax
it
not on the
increases.
payroll here. Yes.
It is not on the payroll, but since we are handling deductions and the learner assumes that all VATs are deductions, they need to be helped because I've marked very many learners and they assume VAT has to be deducted on any value given.
And it increases the value. Hello?
So you inform them that in case you are given VAT in any question, hello.
Hello?
Sir,
Yes, please.
our learners should be informed that once given VAT in any question, it is supposed to be added on any given cost before we get a net cost.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I may not have to repeat that one. Everyone on the call hears it.
And another concern is to do with the color. Even if we are given a chance to pick a color, at least I'm sure most of us, we use uncolored printers. So it would be better if we choose a color that if printed on a monocolor printer or
Yes.
black and white, the work will be clear.
Yes. Actually, thank you.
Those
Thank
are my
you for that.
submission.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Yes, please. Someone from Kashenyi?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Some students want to know about how they can create a pie chart or a column graph.
Okay.
Essentially.
Pie chart, column graph.
Yes.
I think let's just demonstrate that one very fast here. The pie chart is something that will come from one set of data plus the labels. To make it very simple for you, click where you wish it to be. Select, for example, if you're told that put their net income on a pie chart. Simply select these names and you hold the control button to select both columns. Then we shall come to insert. Charts are here, the pie chart is here. You would select any of your style. And the pie chart is already here. Come put a title, what is it about? There are some chat. Something is blocking me here. Chat design, chat elements, the title is there, you put a title. Data labels, where should we put them? The choice can be yours, outside, inside. The legend, where are we putting the legend? The legend is what talks about these colors. Which color is that? Okay, where do you want it to be? If it was a bar graph, still as we come to insert, select the data, these labels here, hold the control button, select this. I think this is a column graph. Let me just select a column graph here. You do select it like this. Let it be where you told it to fit. Come to the chart elements, put the axis labels, put the axis title, put the chart title, data labels, just like that. Okay. I see Mr. Wejuli Moses.
Yes, thank you so much, Ronald. For
this is the TV itself. Mr. Kanyike Simon Peter TV.
Hey, Ronald, I hope you're hearing me.
Yes, please.
Oh, yes. So this is Mr. Wejuli. This is Wejuli Moses.
Yes, Mr. Wejuli.
My concern is on the gentleman from, I think it was Napak Seed School, if I'm not mistaken, who say that VAT should always be added and never be subtracted. I think I want to think that it depends on the question and the instruction of the examiner. If I'm dealing with data,
yes,
perhaps maybe what I want to clarify or to bring to light is a student may look at the word VAT and think that maybe we are talking about taxes in general. But perhaps we should make clarity that if at all we are dealing with, let's say, other taxes like the normal tax that is paid by, let's say, employees in a company, then perhaps that won't be an addition for us to be able to get the net income or the net pay. So I think instead of just mentioning it generally, we need to make clarity and indicate to them that perhaps if you're dealing with this kind of tax, then this is what we need to do. And if it's this kind of tax, then this is what we need to do, such that we don't make it more general and have them take it as it's always going to be this and that. Thank you.
Okay, yes, just give us a minute. Teacher Simon is getting back online. Just a minute, he's getting back, and then we shall continue. But those who have questions, kindly put them in the chat. They're going to be responded to. Let's give him just some few minutes and he gets back. But as he gets back, Mr. Ronald, are you in position to say something? Oh, Mr. Ronald, are you in a position to say something? Okay.
Hello. Hello. Sorry, man, as I lost network and not sure if someone is here. Someone.
Okay. Yes, you are clear, Mr. Chiviri. Though we have some questions in the chat.
Yes, please. I lost. Power has gone my end. I've just reconnected here.
Oh, sorry. But one of the questions,
yes.
Someone wanted to know to take us through what we call VLOOKUP. Another one wanted you to mainly the common questions about ranking and grading. And then another one, how do you transfer the chart or graph to the next sheet?
Oh, let me work on those ones, I think. Let me begin with transferring the chart. This chart, for example, if it is a pie chart and we have created it from here, you would simply right-click cut, come to a new sheet and paste it there. That would be the simplest way I can suggest, if you are told to have it on the other side. Alternatively, you could create it from the other second sheet as you're told. Someone had asked about VLOOKUP. I am trying to imagine of a scenario here about the employees that we have. VLOOKUP will help us to assign comments. Rank will help us to assign positions. Let me think of something. Let me think of something here regarding the net income, 27, 39, 30, 36, 50. I'll give 3 scenarios, people whose net income is above, whose net income is above 35,000, to have to give them a comment of good employee. Not sure if the comment is worth. Then those who are above, this is 35,000 and above. Then those who are between 25,000 and around 34,999 something there. Let me call it fair employee. And those who are above 20,000, that is 20,000 to 24,900 there. This could be a good, fairly good. Then those below, the others, below 20,000, let's call them poor, if that is what it should be. Now, before we use the VLOOKUP, we are supposed to set the data. And this data is supposed to be arranged in columns in ascending order. So the table, the data that you set could be anywhere in a workbook. But for me, for purposes of clarity, I'm putting it in the same worksheet here. I could put it in this other sheet or anywhere, but I'm putting it here. So because we are saying it should be in ascending order, I'll begin with the 20,000. Below 20,000, those people should be given a comment of poor employee. Then we talked about 25,000. This should be fairly good employee. Then after 25, we had 35,000. And this one was supposed to be 25,000, I think was supposed to be below this, above this. 25,000 is the one that is supposed to be fair employee. Oh no, I beg your pardon. Let me revise this. Between 20, 25, fair. Let's just revise this. Someone between 35 and above is getting a good employee. Someone between 25 and above is getting fairly. Someone between 20 and above is getting that. So someone here should be at 0, who gets between 0 and between 0 and 20,000 is the one that should be called poor employee. Then this one should be called fairly good. Then this one is the one that is supposed to be fair employee. Then the last one is the one that's supposed to be good. Employee. Now, according to this, remember I said that the data now, this one, I think in this sheet, there was some conditional formatting given. You highlight, there are two ways we can either use absolute cell referencing, or we can just name the section of the table. So here, highlight this section of the table that we have, come in the name box here, give it a name. I'm calling it table. After that, press enter. To confirm, come and highlight this section again, confirm that it is given a name, table. So now I want to give our comment here. We shall say equals VLOOKUP. I'm using this one faster. VLOOKUP, this one, this cell. After looking it up, where, in which table? The table, we called it table. And to show you that the table is highlighted. Now it asks us the column number. We are having only 2 columns here, and the values we want returned are in column number 2. So there we shall put 2, comma. Should we put it true or false? When we put true, this is approximate match, meaning that someone between this and this, his figure will be put somewhere. That is true. If we put exact match, the computer will only, spreadsheet will look out for only these figures. So we shall put it true because we don't have strictly those figures and close. So you will find that then after that, enter and fill. So you find that the employees will be given comments accordingly. I think we can see this one is a good employee, is above 35,000, is 50. Then the other one, Mr. Kaziba, you asked for, someone asked for was the one for giving positions. Position, we said we use a function called rank. We shall say rank. We are ranking this one. You comma in a range from here up to this. We are supposed to be able to read the cell names and ranges. And the order, we are giving it descending after a comma, descending such that the very biggest is given position number 1. But here we are supposed to set this absolute. This range is supposed to be absolute by putting $signs. We shall click there and press F4. Then you click in this cell name also that completes the range. Select F4 and enter. After that, we shall autofill. I think those are the questions I can recall. Not sure if there are some others in the chat here. Someone said, I take you slow. I'm trying to be faster because we are supposed to end at 6. And I know around this time, most of the schools are supposed to be going for supper. That is why I'm faster, my friend. Let us know about word separation function. Not sure what you're asking for. Word separation function. I corrected it. And such a spelling of good. My friend, I was just fast. The one of the spelling. The good thing is that you know what we meant. Fairly good, but food. Someone is talking about food. Members, I know it's almost supper time, if not already supper time. We are supposed to close this session at 6. I think we can't go beyond the time.
Yeah, I don't know, Mr. Chief.
Yes, please.
I don't know whether you can have just a simple summary, because some schools are requesting. If we can just have just something small on one of the questions, but maybe we are going to arrange and have good time in the future to handle many of these things.
Yes, please. Now, unfortunately, according to what we had set here, I'm not very sure in the next questions of presentation, unless someone highlights that this one.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now someone wanted something on presentation. Maybe on presentation, they want to, according to what I saw in the chat, someone wanted to now to insert a header and a footer.
Okay.
In PowerPoint.
In PowerPoint, I think I would show that one from my very presentation here.
Okay.
Yeah, because I also use the PowerPoint here to present what I was talking about. This is the PowerPoint. I would show that we come here to insert. There is something called header and footer. Now there are two things in the header and the footer in PowerPoint. There is what we call a header for a slide and for the handout. So if you'd be asked to put your header and footer in a slide, please. Only that sometimes some of the versions that we have will not give us that allowance. So putting a header, but here commonly we call for the notes and handout. Click here, put the header. This is the personal number, sorry, the name, if that is what was asked for. The footer is here. That is the personal number. If also on the slide tab is here. You put a footer, maybe 5 to 3. Slide numbers, date and time, they are all there. You apply to all. They will surely come at the bottom here. And the header, commonly we shall see it when we come to print, in the print preview of the handout. So when we come to print the presentation, we shall come here and select slide handout, either horizontal or vertical, depending on the number of slides that you have. So the header will be here and the footer should also be applied somewhere. Maybe I did not activate it there. That's it, Mr. Kaziwa there.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm seeing some hands up. Maybe we can pick them up.
Okay. I would begin with the Kasese Muslim SS. Kasese Muslim is not responding. Let's talk to Mr. Solimo Moses.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello? Yeah, thank you for your presentation.
Welcome,
mine is on watermark.
Yes.
When it comes to Word and you apply a watermark on a particular page, it appears in all pages. How could someone?
So what is the question now?
Now the question is how do I make it maybe appear on either page 1 or page 2 alone, not in every page?
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sir, there are around 2 ways. I'll give you one. Maybe would be as word loads. I saw someone on Form 6. Let's first listen to this St. John's Kabuoko. Someone from St. John's Kabuoko? Now in Word, this is page 1, this is page 2. And page 3. So we shall come here, apply, insert, I think it is in page design, watermark. Insert watermark. This is the watermark that I'm applying. So what you do, I think I would call this the simplest. Simply activate the header and footer. Right click on this watermark. Cut it, it will disappear. Activate this, come to a page, or page 2 or page 3, and simply paste. It will appear and comfortably place itself there where I would need it. The other may be a longer process of going through the section breaks. You would also go through the page breaks and section breaks such that you can customize a section of the document at a time. St. John's Kabuoko, I asked you to ask, your hand is still up, but I think you have no question. Mr. Solimo? Mr. Solimo Moses? Is this Kabuoko?
Yes.
Yes.
Please, you are breaking. I can't hear you.
Between sum if and count if.
The difference between sum if and count if.
The difference. Yes.
May you now keep quiet and I answer. Sum if will add and give you totals, a total of items that meet a certain criteria. Maybe you're adding up the values that are above something. Maybe you're adding the values, you want to get a total of the things that are below something. Count if will give you the number of those items. If they are 10, they should be 10 that are above, maybe 100. With sum if, it will give you the total of those 10 that are above 100. That is the difference I can easily give. Mandela? Mandela?
Oh.
Mandela, are you there?
Oh, yes. Good evening. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was requesting, if possible, you share with us your presentation slides, because for people who joined a little late, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, so Napak? Napak Seed?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, I wish you to help me also, at least make these learners learn another way of putting a watermark by you trying to follow my instructions, because you are the one sharing your screen. Are you okay with it, sir?
I'm waiting for you.
So now let us try to go to design on our home tab. So we go to watermark. And then we right click any of those templates there, like confidential, don't. Then we click insert at current document position.
Yes.
So now we can edit that watermark which is there. We can type either our name or index number depending on the question.
Okay. That's also another one. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much. I think the learners are following. Thank you so much, Mr. Kongunga High School. Is Kongunga High School there? Okay. Will you please talk to us? People are going for supper. I don't want students to miss food. Kangurumira SS, are you there?
Good evening,
Kangurumira,
sir.
are you there? Good evening to you, please. How are you?
So we request you to take us through publisher.
Publisher.
Yes.
Let me first get questions. Yes, I think we shall ask for some other time. The scheduled time is almost done. I wanted to respond to these other questions. Unless maybe ask a particular question there in publisher. Guru SS. Guru SS. Guru SS, are you there? Okay, let me just go through the chat. Publisher looks to be too late. I have one method of inserting a watermark. I think we finished that on the footer, page break. Maybe if you could type steps of inserting watermark on specific page. Okay, I think the recording is going to be shared anytime with us by Mr. Kaziba. Members, we already caught up by time. We don't want to go into the school's programs. Napak, are you still having something? Sorry?
Teacher Chiviri, I think we need to stop here.
Yes, sir.
And I would like to thank you for the time you've given to us and the students.
You're
I would
welcome,
like to
sir.
thank all the teachers who have been on the call and for the support. I think we can see that there is more need for us to have more time and share.
Yes.
We shall work towards that. Where possible, there are some sessions that run during the holidays on this same platform. We'll have to work through the teachers to guide you on how you can get the link during your holidays so that we continue developing the skill, because ultimately we want everyone to excel. So I want to thank everyone. Mr. Kaziba dropped off because of power, but he will be sharing the videos and other documents on the various platforms so the teachers can get them to the students. With those few remarks, I want to thank everybody and wish you a great evening. Let us catch up again tomorrow. I think tomorrow there is mathematics for senior 6 and geography for senior 4. We shall send the links in the platform. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Okay, goodbye, sir. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.